All right, guys, this is Tips and Tricks with Amy and Drew, and today we wanted to talk about in this video, because we have so many multiple offers going around, and a lot of the ways that we're winning our contracts is waiving contingencies. And so I've been doing this for 15 years, and it makes my literally think I'm breaking out in sweat, but it is the way of the land right now.
It is.
And so we have many contracts that I've been seeing. You've been coaching your contracts as well. You're waiving the home inspection. You're saying, all right, I'm not even going to do a home inspection, or if I do a home inspection, meaning the buyer, I'm not going to ask for any repairs. And I can't get out of the deal. The optional paragraph is not checked. That means you're just going to take the house with no repairs. Second is appraisal. So if it doesn't appraise, my buyer will pay the difference. That's the second contingency we're seeing a lot of. Again, makes me stressed out, but that's fine. The third one is HOA. This is a newer one. We all know that there's a 3-day HOA right of rescission, and people are saying, "Oh, well, we'll just waive that," which is a new one for me. So that's also makes me interesting. And then there's just the full-fledged as is. So as is, the addendum states that there's a 10-day period, but it's really saying that you're not going to be asking for any repairs. So what is your advice or your tips and tricks if they're going to use any of these contingencies, if they're not going to use any of the contingencies in this contract?
Okay. So this is one of the situations where if I don't have a lot of the information about the house, the buyer and everything, that I tread very lightly, first off. Second off, I make sure that they understand waiving any of these, what this does for their client. Because the last thing you want to do is set someone up with a financial liability. So you're going to buy this and you're not even going to do an informational home inspection. I'm sorry, that's scary unless someone has really deep pockets. So the first thing I do is I really try and just drive home. Now your person understands what this means, that they're going to go under contract and they're not going to get back in the house until the walkthrough. There's no other thing. So,
I love that because I think it's important before you're communicating with your client, the assumption is a buyer, because multiple offers would deal with the buy side pretty much, that you've got to be, as a real estate agent, in that mindset that there's liability here.
Right.
Because if you're waiving these things, then they can't get out of the contract. I mean, all of these holes are built into a traditional contract to get your buyer out of the deal.
Right.
And now you're closing in all the holes.
Yeah.
So I love that you're coaching our agents to at least be very aware, very cognizant of the fact that you're eliminating these holes in the contract. But then when it comes down to, we were talking about, like, it's imperative that you put it in writing to your client. So yeah, your client's like, I don't care what it takes, I want to buy this house at 123 Smith Street. In writing, meaning in an email with acknowledgement, it needs to say, you understand that you're waiving the right of the home inspection. You understand you're waiving the appraisal. And if it's $15,000, under value, you have to come up with the $15,000 or you're in default of that contract, right? So what is the final tip on, like, overall, when you're dealing with contingencies or removing them, what do you think that final tip should be?
Well, first of all, like I said, to understand what they all are, make sure that you do have it in writing. If there's something that is making you uneasy about it, that means that you don't feel right about it, and maybe it's time to have a conversation with Kathy. These people, I know that they don't have $100,000 sitting in their checking account, and I'm really worried that they're going to get, because you need to have morals about this. This is not, like, a lot of times you just can't be transactional. These are human beings at the end of the day, and you don't want to leave anybody with it. So if you have an uneasy feeling, you need to spend some time with, why are you uneasy? Is it because you feel like you haven't guided your client correctly, or do you feel like you don't have all the information? Do you have to make sure that you are comfortable with it as well?
You have clarification, you give a written clarification and disclosure to your client, and when in doubt, check. And then at the end of the day, if you really need to go to the next level, make sure your broker understands that you're removing these contingencies, because at the end of the day, you want to help your client get the property, but you want to do it ethically, morally, and still do it with fiduciary responsibility.
Right. Because you don't want to not have covered one of these steps, and all of a sudden your person says, oh wait, I changed my mind. And you're like, well, no, you're buying this house.
Yeah.
Like,
or they say, you didn't tell me that part.
Right.
And again, either you did tell them that part verbally, or you did tell them in writing, and then you can go go back to the documentation. So,
Yeah.
all right, thanks guys, appreciate you, bye.